Hey guys, I am making unstuffed peppers. So I've already cut up my onions and garlic. I'm about to do my peppers and I'm gonna wash them real quick and then cut them up. I hope you guys are doing all right. Again, I'm just videotaping this and then I'm gonna put it on YouTube because I need 1,000 subscribers to do it with my phone. I don't have a camera, so this is the way I gotta do it until I can get some more subscribers. But I do appreciate everyone who is already subscribed to my channel. And as soon as YouTube allows me to make videos live with my phone, then, let me move this a little more here. Then I'll do live and we'll be able to chat and you'll be able to ask any questions you want to ask. But tonight I'm making unstuffed peppers. It's just easier, and it's for someone who doesn't want to do a lot of work. To me, none of it is a lot of work anyway. I enjoy cooking and baking, but I know there are people out there who can't, they don't want to be bothered, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, but if you want an easy way out, you don't want to use your oven, then you can just do it this way. And there's no right or wrong way to cut your peppers. You could cut them in strips if you want, in chunks, any way you want to. So once I cut these up, I'm going to get the ground beef in the skillet cooking. Okay. I'm going to use a whole red pepper and a whole green pepper. Because if I was stuffing the peppers, I would use a whole one of each. And I like leftovers. I can have them the next day for lunch, or if I don't feel like cooking for dinner, I have extra. So that's always a good thing. And depending on how big your family is, you may want to use a couple pounds of ground beef. I hate to waste. But, if you're by yourself, if you don't want leftovers, I would say do 1 pepper. If you want leftovers, then you want to do 2 peppers, a pound of the ground beef. 1 pepper, I'd say maybe a half a pound of the beef. And there's so many different ways you can do it, but I'm doing this just like I would stuff my own peppers. The only difference is I'm going to use some chicken stock once I put my rice in. Since I'm not doing rice separate, I'm not doing a pot of cooked rice, I'm just gonna put the rice I'm just going to put the rice in the skillet with the peppers and the onions, the garlic. So I have 3 small cloves of garlic I chopped up, 1 medium-sized onion, a Vidalia onion. I love my sweet onions. And then 2 bell peppers. Now again, it's to your taste. You can put whatever you like in it. You know, somebody might say, well, I don't like rice. If you're doing the unstuffed, I don't like rice. So you can just do it with meat. You can do it with pasta. Again, make it the way you like it. The way your family enjoys it. This is the way I like it. And, you know, if you want to try something different, you can do that. So I'm going to throw this away. Let me do this here. I'm going to put my stove on medium high, and I'll put a little bit of olive oil because this is very lean. Sometimes I can open this, sometimes I can't. I do use organic, everything pretty much, organic tomato sauce, organic stock, organic beef, organic peppers, onion. That's just what I do. I didn't used to, but now I do everything organic, especially reading some of the ingredients. I don't remember which. I think this is the olive oil. It doesn't matter anyway. You can use olive oil, avocado oil. I believe this is my olive oil. Close it here. So, sometimes you can, like I said, you can use whatever oil you want, but I used to use corn oil, canola oil, but after reading all the ingredients and reading how bad it is for you, I should have just got a scissor. So, and it's your preference, if you don't want to spend the money. I try to wait until it goes on sale, and then I try to stock up. But it doesn't matter now because everything is expensive. So, if I got to spend a few dollars more for better quality, that's what I'm going to do. But not everybody, can afford it or worries about it. It's not that I could afford it, like I said. I try to wait until, it goes on sale, and then I try to stock up. I'm going to put this just a little bit lower. I try to stock up. And that way, I don't have to run out and get some when it's, high priced. So I watch the sales. So now I'm going to chop up. I have one of those meat choppers, but I don't really want it that small. So And as it cooks, I'll break it up some more. But so right now I'm gonna season with a little salt and pepper. And as I go, I will, you know, season layers of everything. Let me turn my kitchen light on. So once my ground beef is cooked, I will throw in the onions, the peppers. I'll wait for them to cook a little bit, and then I'll put my garlic in. I'm gonna put some breadcrumbs in here, not a lot, but a little, because I always put some breadcrumbs on the top of my stuffed peppers and grated cheese. Now I don't, once in a while I'll put mozzarella cheese, and I do have it, but I'm not gonna put any in it. I'm just gonna put the grated cheese. Let this cook a little more, and in the meantime I'll get my breadcrumbs out and my grated cheese. Oh wait, my breadcrumbs here. And my cheese. I normally grate my own cheese. I have these containers from a while ago, but I try to grate my own cheese. I find it's cheaper and better for me. Again, you have to do what you feel is good for you. I don't have a box grater here. You know, I'm still trying to get used to where I put stuff. I think I moved it. And I gotta put my apron. Okay. All right, we will find it. Here we go. So, I hope you guys are having a good day. Today is Tuesday. And the reason I'm telling you that is because, again, I'm not live. It's a beautiful day. We've had snow here in South Carolina last week sometime. And it's been, I mean, the last few weeks, we've had like the 20s and 30s. And today, it went up to, I believe, 71. Was nice, you know, after feeling the cold. But again, I don't really like it too hot. I could handle the cold better than the heat. So, but that's just me. I'm all discombobulated here. Okay. Goodness, what am I doing here? Somebody tell me what I'm doing. Let me go in here. There we go. I'm gonna have to. Okay. The meat's almost done browning. And I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to keep it in there when I put the peppers and onions and stuff. It's pretty much cooked. There's just a little bit of uncooked, but that will cook with the peppers. And throw my peppers in here. I don't know why I don't use my bench scraper for this. So I'm just going to let my peppers cook a little, and then I'll put my onions in there. Meantime, I'm trying. You know what? I'm just going to do it on here, and then I'll pick it up. Yeah, I like to grate my own cheese. Like I said, I buy it. It's Pecorino Romano. I get it from Costco. Sometimes I get it from Fresh Market. When I lived in Simpsonville, they had Whole Foods. So I would get it there. But we don't have one here. Not yet anyway. Again, I'm going to add some more pepper. And I'm going to add crushed red pepper flakes. You don't have to if, you know, you don't like the heat. I like a little bit of heat. Not a lot. Just a little bit. I mean, I do that to my... when I make a meat sauce, you know, ragu, or even just a plain tomato sauce, I love to add crushed red pepper. I'm not going to add too much salt because I am using some stock, some chicken stock. And you could use beef stock. You could use any kind of stock. And if you don't want to, if you want to, you know, have the rice cooked already, instead of cooking it in the skillet, then you can do that too. I may add just a little bit more salt. Not a lot, but you do want flavor, so. And you could also taste as you go. It smells so good. Now I've seen people put Rotel in their unstuffed peppers, but I don't. I do traditional, you know, I make it the way my mother made stuffed peppers. And that's how I do my stuffed peppers, but the unstuffed peppers I do the same way, except for I'm not putting the stuff, you know, the meat stuffing in the pepper itself. So, and it's the end of my cheese. Matter of fact, I put that on my list, some garlic on my list. But what I do want to show you is I always slice the rind of the grated cheese, and I put a piece in soup. If I make soup, I put it in my tomato sauce. It just gives it more flavor, and I'd say maybe even thickens the soup and the sauce a little more, which I like. using my knife to get that in there. So I have another one of these bigger in the fridge already grated in another container bigger than that. But I wanted to get that last piece done because I used a lot of it. I don't remember what I made, but I did use a lot of it. I think I made pasta for me and my grandkids, and we love the cheese, so we put a lot on. When we eat the pasta. You know, when I watch some videos, some cooking videos, and I see some comments that people make like, oh, you put the spoon in the food and tasted it and then put the same spoon back in. Well, you know what? If that is, you know, they're cooking for family, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now you may say, oh, gross, disgusting. Well, I know me, I wash my hands, and as far as tasting the sauce, sometimes I just put the spoon in the sink. Sometimes I you know, I want to taste it again, so I just use the same spoon. My family's never gotten sick, and neither have I, so I'm not going to worry about it. Because again, I know my hands are clean. Now, I might be a messy cook, and my stove get all dirty, but put that back up a little bit. Oh, when I'm all done, and as I go, I try to, you know, clean up. So now once my peppers and onions are a little tender, I'm going to add the tomato sauce. Yeah, I think I can put this up a little more. I'm going to add the tomato sauce, and I'm going to use about a half a cup of rice in here. Why a half a cup? Because I like rice. Maybe it's going to be too much for somebody. Maybe it's not going to be enough, but I think a half a cup of rice in here will be just fine. So I'm going to measure that now. And I'm just using jasmine rice. It's organic, again. So I really wish I was live, because I love when, you know, I was doing Facebook Live and people would come on and, you know, chat with me and ask me some questions. Now, I do rinse my rice. You know, I wouldn't say wash. I rinse it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Rinse it real quick. I mean, I don't go crazy, but I do rinse the rice. Do that to keep that from boiling. Now I'm going to put my garlic in. This really smells so good. You know, and I don't want to leave any garlic. It's hard for me to see on the marble cutting board. But, oh man, once you put the garlic in, ooh, you really get that beautiful aroma. And goodness, I wish you could come and join me. This really does smell divine. And see, it's an easy, what you would say, one pot meal. Now, you can cook the peppers as long as you want. If you want it crispy, you wouldn't cook it as long. If you want it nice and tender, you would cook it a little bit longer, but it's going to cook when you put the rice in and the sauce and the stock. It's still gonna, cook. So just be mindful of, how soft you want it, or how hard, crunchy, whatever, I think I'm gonna just do this. Just to get some of that sauce out. But I'm not gonna put that in yet, because I'm gonna put it in the measuring cup, because I need at least a cup of the stock so that the rice will cook good. Now, some people might want to use diced tomatoes or crushed tomatoes. If I had crushed tomatoes, I would use that. But I have tomato sauce. I have whole tomatoes, and I just put the tomato sauce in. I've seen people use Rotel in this. I think I mentioned that already. But then to me, if you put Rotel in it, it's not really stuffed peppers or unstuffed peppers. Because, again, you make it the way you like it. But I personally don't know, my family is Italian, and I don't think I've ever seen them use Rotel for their stuffed peppers. So I wouldn't use it in my unstuffed peppers. Now, I'm going to put the rice in now. Whoops. And I'm going to stir it around for a little bit before I add the stock. See, it's not a whole lot, but, again, it's what you like. There, I'm gonna make this a cup of stock. And plus, there's still like juice from the tomato. So Could I have added more rice? Yes. I might regret that I didn't. I don't know. We'll see. Now you can cover it. I'm not going to cover it though. Let me put this. And like I said, I'm going to put some breadcrumbs on top and some grated cheese. I have some burrata here. I think one night I'm going to have some burrata and, I don't know, some cold cuts or something for dinner. Yeah, this smells so good right now. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm not going to cover it, but if I think I need to cover it, then I will. But right now I'm not. I'm going to try to clean up a little bit here. Put some stuff in my dishwasher. I'm just going to wipe around the stove just a little. I'll clean it after, but wipe a little bit there. Clean this. I love this marble cutting board. So I don't have to cut on my counters. I also have a nice big wooden cutting board, and this marble one is big, as you can see. I think it's like a, I don't even know, maybe 16 by 24 or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but it's nice and big. And I'll just turn you and show you. That's my wooden one, which is very big too. Sorry, sorry for tilting you guys like that. Let's get you back here. Now, I probably shouldn't be stirring it, but oh, my goodness, it smells so good. Now, I think I'm going to make some brownies for Valentine's Day because my grandchildren are going to be with me and they love brownies. And my brownies, I don't make like, you know, a traditional brownie recipe. The brownie recipe I use, I got it online. I don't remember who I got it from, but I use chocolate chips in it, and I use chocolate bars in it, but I will try to do a video on it when I make it this way. you guys could see. You can see me make it. Okay, it's getting there nice. You know, there's not much more cooking time, again, unless you want your peppers like really tender. I like just a little bite to it, but these are getting nice and soft because when I use the wooden spoon, it cuts it. You know, I can cut it in half and it breaks. So it's nice and tender. As you can see, the more the rice cooks, the more the juice disappears, and that's what I want. Because I don't want soupy unstuffed peppers. And again, you can put mozzarella cheese if you want to. You can put mozzarella cheese if you want to. You can put any kind of cheese, but I'm just gonna do the top with breadcrumbs. I probably should have toasted the breadcrumbs first, but I'm not going to. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle a little breadcrumb, and then I'm gonna put the cheese on top of that as well. And remember, you want to taste before you completely finish, because you want to make sure you got nice flavor. So I am going to taste now to make sure there's no other seasoning. I can taste the crushed red pepper, and some of you may call me gross or hate me, but I'm going to double dip. This is mine. Nobody's eating with me. Yeah, there's enough salt. Plus the cheese is going to give it a little bit of salt flavor. There's enough pepper. I get a tiny bit of heat from the crushed red pepper. And when I say a tiny bit, I mean a tiny bit. Now, when you make stuffed peppers, you don't have a lot of rice in it. You have the meat and your onions if you put it in there. Like I said, I put breadcrumbs on top. If you put mozzarella, I put grated cheese. And, you know, there's more, you know, it's kind of balanced out between the peppers, the rice, the meat, the onion and garlic. It's all kind of balanced out. So, because you don't want a ton of rice and hardly any meat or pepper. You want a good amount of everything. See how nice it's soaking up the juice very nicely. I don't want to put the breadcrumb on yet because there's still some juice. I want to make sure. Now, some people I know make extra sauce and then they pour it on top of the peppers, but I don't do that either. Okay, now I think I'm going to put the breadcrumb. Most of my juice has soaked up, and I'm sure the rice is going to let some more soak. I'm not measuring. I'm just going to put what I think I want on here. That's, you know, that's good enough for me. And We put my cheese here. Again, I love this cheese, so I'm not going to be shy with it. And that's it. I'm going to shut it. And there you have unstuffed peppers. I'm just going to let it rest off the heat and put it on the warmer. And there you have it. So I will post this on YouTube now. And hopefully everybody will watch it. Well, God bless everyone. Have a blessed evening. Bye now.